Hey, it's Tarot Counselor. We're going to do a reading for August to see what's going on with the coronavirus in your area. So, if you enjoy tarot card readings, leave a comment below with the energy of your zodiac sign so we can see what kind of energies are attracted to these types of readings. And then, of course, like and subscribe if you're interested. And then, if you want to work with me or learn more about other ways you can get involved in astrology, numerology, and tarot, just see the links in the description below. Okay, let's get to reading here for August and see what's going on with the coronavirus. So the first card we have here, so this is the Two of Pentacles. This is classically known as the juggler. And so that's kind of what everybody's been doing. So you've been trying to juggle one, staying safe or healthy and away from people in whatever family life you got going on with whatever minimum amount of, whatever work you can do, whether that's working from remotely or still doing your errands or getting out and doing whatever the case may be. That's kind of a big juggle for people, especially now as you get into August. People are trying to make decisions as to almost committing what they're going to do for this school year or school semester, whether they're going to do homeschooling or have all the kids going and so forth. That's an example of things people are kind of juggling because obviously with last spring towards the end of the school year, people kind of get through it through spring break and towards the end and think that that would be over. And I think most people thought that over the summer it would kind of die down and then everyone would be heading back to school in the fall. But now having to figure out how to do that long term, potentially through most of at least next semester till 2021. I think that's a lot more for people to juggle on their plates, even with trying to figure out kids, school, trying to balance your career. Because I think no one was really sure exactly that we're in this for the long haul, but I think we are now seeing that we're potentially in this for the long haul, where we might be talking about a year to date. If I call it next March, if by the time you may personally be available to have a vaccine or something like that at the earliest. So I think that's at least when we're hearing this on some of the news and this what's going on now. So I think we're going to be in this mode of having to constantly kind of juggle or keep things going. That's kind of the situation that we're in. An interesting one that's come up a lot in some of the personal readings I've done for people is while this kind of lingering or going on longer, and people are getting more and more detached from like the old world of what they were doing before. A lot of people are goes to the Eight of Cups is kind of like someone kind of leaving what they kind of have to go on a kind of spiritual journey. I use this as my kind of spiritual walkabout card. That's why you got the moon here dealing with, moon relates to your emotions, water signs. So does the blue in the background, and the water in the background in cups is, of course, related to water signs. That'd be related to things emotional on the emotional plane. And then 8 in numerology it's a karmic one. So this is kind of like going off to seek, what's the right thing that would resonate with you emotionally from your own kind of spiritual journey. And so that's how we get to this card. So I do hear a lot from people who are, as this goes on longer, they're trying to really think, okay, what is it I want to do with my life? What's the meaning of life? What's my purpose here? So that coming out of this pandemic, they can kind of hopefully arrange their life as we figure out what we want to do to go back to the normal or what normal may be. We may want to leave some stuff behind or do some different things. And this is the perfect time forced time to try to figure that out because people may want to be more in alignment with what they believe their true purpose or their spiritual path or spiritual journey is intended to be in this life. And so that's why they may want to take this time to do some more exploring internally and try to figure out what resonates with them so that they can kind of come out of this with more alignment with what they want to do spiritually. Last card of the reading here. So this is the Tower, and the only major arcana card here in this reading for this month. So the Tower is really all about the false ground or the collapsing of things you put your attachment into. I think this kind of does resonate with what's going on with just the economy, people's jobs, and just the fact that it's lingering a lot longer. Like I said previously, there's a scenario where wherever you are, this could be still kind of going on for a total of a year, depending on whenever it started in your area. And so for people to really do that, there's lots of businesses that aren't going to make it, lots of relationships that aren't going to survive through this because of the stress and so forth. And so everyone's kind of really learning, what did they have a false or not a false attachment, what attachments you had that were not built on stable grounds, whether that you felt like you had a safe, secure job, and that turns out not to be true, or in a safe, secure industry, whether that's hospitality, travel, or anything like that, that might always be around, always have customers. You're finding out that may not always be the case or always be true. And so that's kind of what the tower's meaning. Almost it has the feeling of, the rug being ripped out from underneath you, because that's what it feels like, because you'd put so much trust or hope and attention. And I think as this goes longer and longer, and more and more people kind of losing their jobs or being affected financially, or the odds of any certain kind of small company making it through this long period of time kind of decreases and decreases. You think, yes, most companies have the ability to get through a few months of hardships, whatever the case may be, but there's going to be, if this does really go on for a total of a year or so, there's going to be lots of companies that aren't going to make it. Lots of people are going to lose their employment. And then just the stress of juggling everything. I kind of talk about juggling here, juggling family, work, kids going to school, whatever the case may be. I think that puts lots of stress on relationships. If there are already any cracks in any of your relationships, you even see it with some of the celebrities and stuff like that are kind of breaking up or not making it through quarantine and deciding to go their own way. If there were any cracks in the foundation, the stress of this time is going to be, obviously, we magnify that or expose that to a great deal. So I think that's kind of the feeling of this tower. The tower is a very tough card to go through, and I think a lot of us have this kind of rude awakening where, I know I did myself. I really thought that this was going to be okay, a few weeks, a few months, I can put up with it through the summer. But now, even if I had some plans in the fall or to go visit family and spend time with my family, it's like I don't think October that may not be happening. Like I have to come to that reality that even now, we're several months in and looking several months out into the future, that doesn't look like that's a reality. Like we may not be totally changing the situation completely where we are, or at least until a true vaccine is available. So everyone's going to go through this situation where they feel like they have the rug ripped out from underneath them in some way, because you kind of thought that it was temporary. Now it's really lingering a lot longer than I think most people thought. And that's only going to have more ramifications on, everyone's financial lives, their businesses, their jobs, their relationships, the way they handle their kids and kids' educations. It's going to put lots of stress on lots of the different areas. So the best advice of this one would be is, really take the time while you're trying to juggle everything, and you want to connect more spiritually, like wherever you feel that energy go, and take the time to build the strong foundations now. Whether that is, do the networking to find the new jobs where they may be in the future, or work on your relationships to make sure that you have this stronger foundation to build off of, so that way as more stress comes down the road, or things linger on longer, or someone may potentially lose their job, you're kind of prepared for it. And you also should do that, financially as well. Figure out how either to still live off your savings, or find some other ways to make some money, or help people, or do odds and ends, whatever the case may be, so that way you can overcome any of the financial losses that you're seeing from either less hours, less time, less work, or anything like that. So I think those are the main energies you can kind of get from these cards for the month of August. It does look like, in tough news, so everyone's been kind of juggling everything. I think the best part of is, I think people are more spiritually connected now, because you can't go out, so you may as well look within and kind of look inward. But everyone's going through some hardships, and there's going to be more ahead of us, because I think this is definitely lingering a lot longer than most of us expected. So again, hope this resonated with you. And if you want to do any kind of personal readings or work with me, or even as we talked about a spiritual journey, I am creating my own kind of inner wisdom, spiritual kind of mastermind group or community for people to get more connected and are better in alignment with their path or their plans. So check out the links in the bio if that's something that would be interesting for you, or in the description below. And then reach out, contact me, and we'll see if it's a right fit for you or not. But definitely everyone's going to be going through some tough times, because this is definitely lingering a lot longer than I think any of us expected. So for everyone out there, I hope you stay safe. Hope you kind of use the time as best you possibly can to spend the time on the inner work to figure out how we can come out better on the other end of this, whenever that may be.